What's up, YouTube? As the title implies, I want to go over why a lot of people are underestimating Isshiki Otsutsuki and the reasons for it. Now, as we all know by now, Isshiki was living inside of Jigen as a parasite, and later revived through Jigen's charred corpse due to Amado and Kashinkoji's scheming. Jigen was an imperfect vessel who couldn't house Isshiki's enormous power. Therefore, when Isshiki resurrected through Jigen, he only had a few days left to live, as the brimming power flowing through Jigen, the imperfect vessel, was too much to bear. We know this much already, but it's a bit more complicated than just that. We see that Jigen only had one triangular spoke of the unnamed dojutsu in each of his eyes, and neither of Jigen's eyes gave off the yellow amber colored hue of the dojutsu. Also, when Isshiki resurrected through Jigen, he wasn't shown using any new abilities that Jigen didn't already display, which is why I came to the conclusion that even though Isshiki had his full-powered dojutsu, he was still limited in what powers he could use due to reviving through Jigen, and not Kawaki. A lot of people misinterpret that Isshiki was brought back at full power. The only condition was that he had a timer, but that analysis is incorrect. How could Isshiki be at full power when Jigen couldn't even handle the Darmagon, or the unnamed dojutsu? Which leads me to my next point, which is that we never saw Isshiki's appearance prior to reviving through Jigen. When Sasuke traveled to the Ten Tails dimension, he saw the Otsutsuki holograms, and we saw Isshiki, but his back was turned. And this was also the case when Amado was explaining who Isshiki was, and how he and Kaguya came to Earth together. I talked about it in one of my other videos, but if you remember, Isshiki had the so-called Darmagon in his right eye, while Kawaki possesses it in his left eye. So what if before Kaguya injured Isshiki, Isshiki actually had the Darmagon in both eyes? Which could be the precise reason why Kaguya had to catch Isshiki off guard. And yes, Kaguya did catch Isshiki off guard, and if that wasn't the case, Amado wouldn't have mentioned that detail in particular. Which means Amado likely knows the terrors of Isshiki at full power. Something else I want to add in is that I believe the Darmagon Kawaki inherited from Isshiki is from Isshiki and not Shibai. I say this because I know Shibai was shown to have one of the Darmagon as well, but the thing is, Shibai also had a Rinnegan. And if we know anything about the Rinnegan, everyone who has one has their own unique ability. I believe this could be the same for the Darmagon. It could give Isshiki and Shibai access to 8 unique abilities specifically for the Darmagon in particular. But also, like the Rinnegan, I believe that each Darmagon user has their own unique Darmagon ability. Another thing to note is that Amado stated there's still a lot we don't know about the karma, and that even though he didn't know what method Isshiki would use to revive his daughter, he knew he had to take that power for himself. But I'm almost certain Isshiki didn't tell Amado everything about the karma, and he kept some of those secrets to himself to prevent Amado from knowing too much. Having said that, I'm almost certain that Amado doesn't know the full extent of Isshiki's dormant abilities. Another big misconception that everyone has had is that Baryon Mode Naruto surpassed Isshiki in power, and this is also incorrect. In Boruto Naruto Next Generations Chapter 52, page 35, Isshiki states that Baryon Mode Naruto's blows weren't the problem. Rather, just coming into contact with him was the issue, meaning Baryon Mode Naruto never surpassed Isshiki in power. Rather, it was just the specific ability of the Baryon mode, which could very conveniently shave off the life of whoever came into contact. Isshiki Otsutsuki is currently the strongest we've seen in the whole Naruto franchise. And in all instances that we've seen him, he hasn't been at full power. So to all the people that still think that Baryon Mode Naruto is the peak of the Naruto franchise, you're wrong. Isshiki is the strongest in the verse. If you're still not convinced, let me simplify it even further for you to understand. Let's say that Naruto and Sasuke's power level is about 10 million, and Jigen's power level is 15 million. In this instance, since Isshiki resurrected through Jigen, who was an imperfect vessel, Isshiki was not revived at full power. so his power level was about 60 million. But had he resurrected through Kawaki, which was the original plan of Kara, then his true power is potentially 150 million plus. The proof was when Amado told the Leaf higher-ups that if Isshiki resurrected at full power, it would signal the end of the world and no one would be able to stop him. And Isshiki was way too much to handle, even being resurrected through Jigen. I believe that Isshiki would have ascended to a higher dimension like Shibai had if he resurrected through Kawaki and consumed Earth's chakra fruit, because he was already so powerful. And aside from hearing about Shibai from Amado, Isshiki is indeed the strongest character in the franchise that we've seen thus far. And yes, that includes he's stronger than Daemon as well. Amado made clear that he created cyborgs that surpass Jigen in strength. He never said anything about creating cyborgs stronger than Isshiki. So I hope I was able to clear up some very common misconceptions. I know there will still be people who will underrate Isshiki because the fact is he was never brought back at full power. And nerfed Isshiki is all that people have to go by. But everything I've stated is facts. You can literally go back and read the chapters yourself to clear your doubts. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. See you next time.
俺は忍びだ。